Hi Cancer, this is your March 2023 reading. It's been a minute since we've talked and I'm so excited to catch up with you. At the bottom of the deck, 3 wand cards. I'm putting this as your bustling and thriving external world. We have the 6 of Wands, traditionally speaks to success, recognition and visibility. 10 of Wands, yeah, this comes with a toll, right? It is often burdensome. This is kind of like when you're at the top of your game, there is much more at stake and the pressure is on. The 10 of Wands usually speaks about determination though and going the distance. The Queen of Wands, well, she's just that bitch that everybody wants a piece of, and this is a energy of magneticism. It's gorgeous, it's charismatic, it's confident. So your external world is thriving, right? You are, in terms of career, in terms of your public image, your reputation, your business, your plans to travel and see the world, your plans to make your way in the world. That's all going on, and that's not what this reading is going to be about. What this reading is going to be about is the inner world and what you're working on there, the learned behaviors, the family dynamics. The Queen of Coins is here and the Page of Coins is here. We have a mother-child dynamic here, but it doesn't necessarily need to be your mother. This is a caregiver, it's a family member that you are learning about, and you're learning about yourself through this examination of this person's representation in your life. You're learning about yourself. For some of you though, this is starting from scratch. The Page of Coins, somebody's come into the world, it's pretty new for them, everything is possible, and you want to put your best foot forward. So for me, I'm seeing that some of the Cancers out here are beginning a new phase of learning at the beginning of the month. Of course, this can talk about school or courses. It can talk about anything like that, research or reading, but it also is like learning how to make their way in the world and unlearn, I think, a lot of the conditioning and a lot of what they've seen basically from maybe their caregivers or society or school, whatever has been the foundations for you. There's learning and unlearning. Everything going on in the external, that thriving, popularity, confidence. Everyone wants a piece of you, Cancer. You're busy with your work, your business is going well, all of those things, great. You know, you may be setting up a structure for yourself, a new home. Many of the cardinal signs, Cancer, Aries, Libra, and Capricorn, are experiencing blessings right now. At the beginning of the month, both benefics, Jupiter and Venus, very generous and want to give us more, these planets. They're in a cardinal sign, Aries. They're going to be aspecting your Cancer placements, be it Sun, rising or moon, and that's bringing with it some blessings. Okay, so that's all out in the external world. Sure, some of these blessings can be family oriented, private life oriented, and I think a blessing will be apparent for you when you start to work through some of this conditioning and unlearn certain behaviors and learn and understand and have breakthroughs around why perhaps you think the way you do or you act the way you do. A lot of your personal relationships might even be going under reconstruction at this time as you learn and unlearn certain behaviors. But more mundanely, the Page of Coins suggests being a student again, a student of life, and you are initiating something. A new job opportunity at your current workplace comes up with the Page of Coins because it's not absolutely brand new. There's something about what you're already doing, having a breath of fresh air, and it seems like that's the energy. It's like, okay, I kind of know what I'm doing here already. Maybe I need to do a bit more research, but overall, it's not like completely out of left field. You do have a decision to make this month, and it's not the easiest one. From around the 8th of the month onwards, this matter gets a little bit more pressing for you, I think. The 2 of Swords is talking about figuring out which one of these swords, if any of them, are going to work for you. And I think with the decision that comes up for you this month, you're going to have to say no to somebody or something. It's a message about boundaries and making a sacrifice. I think you're going to have to make a short-term sacrifice possibly for a long-term gain. The Queen of Coins is about those long-term gains, honey. This is thriving, flourishing, fertile, and really just like ripe for the picking energy. This talks to me about you conserving all winter, if you're on the northern hemisphere that is, but the essence of hibernation and conservation and waiting for the right time to get yourself back into the world more. You've been getting yourself back more and more, but something's holding you back. Let's try and figure out what that is. On around the 23rd of the month, Pluto, which is in the sign of Capricorn associated with this card here, will be leaving after around 15 years spent in Capricorn, really long time spent in Capricorn, heading into Aquarius. This hasn't been seen since the 18th century, so in our own personal lives and in our own personal birth chart, this marks a new area of life that's going to be transformed for us over the next 2 decades. So it's big, powerful energy. You've already been having an area of your life transform for the last 15 years, and Cancer, that's wherever Capricorn is in your chart. But now at the end of the month, there's a vernal equinox, a shift in energy, the beginning of spring on the northern hemisphere, or autumn, and things are changing and change is afoot. You can feel that, right? You're an intuitive sign and placement, so I'm sure that this isn't like a foreign language to you at all. But one area of your life is about to begin transform, and between March and June, July, you're going to see roughly a 3-month period of the preview as to what is the transformation of your soul. Essentially, Pluto speaks to the soul. It's that heavy hitting. Okay, so unless we see all these wand cards pop back out again, then I'm going to say that we have Mercury in Cancer here with the 3 of Cups, that the wand thing is under control, right? The physical body, that's looking good, that's feeling good. Everything that comes with being in tune with your physical body and the confidence that comes with taking action and the validation, that seems to all be good. Maybe these cards will come out again and we'll have to talk about it more. But I really do see this sort of a inner world being the focus in March. Let's look at the beginning of the month. The first week and a half of March is coming through with the Page of Coins, the Knight of Cups, and the King of Swords. So these are people, lots of people. Actually, March seems to be a month where, I don't know if it's family, it's networking, it's friends, social circles, just random ass strangers, but there's a lot of people here, and it just seems that you have to deal with loads of people, loads of opinions, trying to satisfy people, trying to relate to people. Okay, so let's have a look at the Knight of Cups. The field of study, the field of research, it has your heart. So it's not difficult to follow this pursuit of happiness at the beginning of the month. Even though it may seem daunting, and especially if you're beginning to untangle entrenched kind of trauma or family dynamics or conditioning, yippee, like that's not usually a walk in the park, but it has your heart, and your heart is leading the way. So that's perfect. Knight of Cups is the Pisces card. It's Pisces season, fellow water sign. The heart keeps the score and it never lies, okay? So following that is not always possible, and our brain can get in the way, or life can get in the way, and practical matters. But when we attract, we're attracting when we work from the heart. When the brain and logic gets in the way, it can come up as a resistance sometimes, or some sort of a block at times. But I don't see that for you, even though I do have a very like logical King of Swords right here. Like he's not being too, like he's not a block for me. He is a big daddy energy, like a Saturnian, I will reward you when you do what's best for you energy. So I don't see that as a threat. I see that as a mentor or a guide, or just yourself basically growing up and taking responsibility and accountability, facing your fears, getting down into the trenches, getting your sleeves rolled up and your hands dirty with this work, but your heart's, it's not that it doesn't feel right, you know. It might be hard, but it still feels right. It feels like what you're supposed to be doing at the beginning of the month. It's a sort of like, it might be a passion project, or it might be just like a calling, but it's something that's going to show this little inner child of yours, Cancer, a whole lot of love, and you're doing exactly what they always wanted, and that's a wonderful thing. The King of Swords is the maturity that comes with this. The maturity that comes with perhaps some of you are going to have to reparent yourselves on certain levels. The Lover is at the bottom of the deck. All of these things influence our current relationships. They influence our business partnerships, our romantic relationships, our marriages, and our friendships. So it's really important work because we want to enjoy our lives and have all of the harmony that is here to be offered to us during this lifetime. But people that you come into this, you may be meeting somebody. Yeah, wow, I didn't even think of that. The Lovers and the Knight of Cups. Early stages of a romantic relationship, an exciting chapter, continuing in a maybe newly formed relationship, or a long-standing relationship gets just a little bit of a spark again, or there's a newness and a freshness to it. It's good times all around for your relationships, romantic, I think, or otherwise at the beginning of the month. And the King of Swords, okay, yeah, like you just kind of level up and become a master at something. People that you may meet, masters of their craft. What else is the King of Swords? Somebody in the professional world, like a legal representation or financial representative, medical aid or assistance. You're dealing with someone with a title in that way that's most likely here to help, you know. They're always here to help, right? So let's see, the Knight of Cups, good times. I'm going to move on from that, and it just shows you maturing. We have a page to a knight to a king. That's a leveling up, right? Okay, let's look at the biggest decision that you have to make this month with the Two of Swords. This is about making a sacrifice, and I'm already hearing no, like I'm not doing that, sorry, or like I have to make a sacrifice, I can't afford to go on this trip, or something like that. And that's not easy, but you have to be honest with yourself. This person in the Two of Swords is blindfolded. I'm not sure if you can see that, but yeah, like they're not fully being honest with themselves yet. Beautiful. The Page of Cups just springing on out. That is the true essence of the inner child being satisfied. You surprise your inner child. You surprise them this month with doing something that's just delightful to them. And the inner child's healing, this is very much Page of Cups. Inner child healing. Doing like a practice with your inner child where you remember a situation. It could have been something traumatic like being bullied, or something from your childhood, and you know, or even somebody said something to you and it never really left your psyche and it got filed away. Sometimes the practice that is useful is to kind of sit down with that version of yourself, Cancer, and imagine them at the age they were. It could be even 6 months ago, 6 years, 16 years ago, but sit down with them and have a chat about it. Talk to them about that. You know so much more now than you knew then. You would be able to give them such valuable insight because it's so personal to you. And then I suppose you can just talk them through that, reassure them, let them know that you've got them now. It's even really powerful sometimes to, it sounds a little crazy, I know, but bear with me. Even if you hug that inner child, it can be just so therapeutic to talk through the whole situation, offer support, guidance. There is certain, you know, this is for a little bit more of an out there discussion, but past, present, future existing all at the same time. It's a concept that I'm slowly beginning to get my head around, but it's pretty far out there. So changing the past is actually possible in terms of frequency and energy, okay? So remember that. Remember that that version of yourself is still living on that timeline, and that you could swoop in as a spirit guide for them at any time. I did tell you that this reading was going to be about your inner world, didn't I? Okay, so the Two of Swords coming through with the Two of Cups in reverse and the Fool card. Ugh. If there's a relationship that's on the rocks, yeah, I kind of get that impression. I mean, I know I talked about new relationships beginning. I'm thinking that there's a more of an established connection, be it a friendship, doesn't have to be a lover, but the Two of Cups in reverse, this person is running out of the bed. In reverse, they're like already out the door. And it doesn't have to be a lover, it doesn't have to be that, but there's some sort of a can't get away from this person quickly enough, and that's awkward. It's uncomfortable for everybody involved. If there is if you feel like there's already something where the cracks are showing, mid-month might be just that. Basically, knife in the back, Ace of Swords in reverse also. The Fool card, however, when one door closes, shut, slammed, legging it down the block, the Fool card will be the door that opens. So meanwhile, yes, you do have to make a decision, and for some, it's going to be ending a certain situation that doesn't feel right anymore. Then something new begins, and this is the first major arcana card we've seen so far out here in this spread. It's 0, the first major, the Fool card. So it speaks to a new beginning. Now, usually we see a sprightly young fellow with the dog on the traditional Fool card. We have an elderly gentleman with a rather decrepit looking horse. Or some sort of an equestrian style animal. So this is an interesting way to represent the Fool card, because yes, it's not sprightly, it's not energized, it's actually more leading towards the end of a cycle. And that's why I kind of was like, yeah, maybe there is an ending that needs to happen in your personal life in order for new chapters to begin, new people coming through. There are an awful lot of people, but we have to clear the way for those blessings to come in. And the way we clear the way for blessings to come in can be, addressing what's not working and clearing that out of the way so that we've kind of pushed the memo out there, like, I understand, I deserve more, give me it, basically. So yeah, you have to, I think, cut some cords, make some sacrifices, figure out who's working for you, who's not working for you anymore. The first card, the Fool card. Okay, so regardless of that relationship situation, I know that's not going to apply to everybody. But the first card that's a major is quite important. Like I said, for all of the signs, March is one of the biggest months of the year astrologically, actually, because I talked about Pluto leaving Capricorn after around 15 years, and that's going to be a massive shift, obviously, in our personal lives and mundanely on the collective. So as well as that, Saturn is going to be entering Pisces around the 7th of the month, the same day as the Virgo full moon, and that is going to be representing a new 2.5 to 3 year cycle of maturity in your life as it wraps up a prior one. So with beginnings and endings go hand in hand, and March is just a bigger month to sort of sound vague of beginnings and endings for everybody. And the Fool card, it's a beginning, but cords need to be cut. All right, let's look at the Queen of Coins, and this is, I think, we'll put this energy towards the end of the month. Now, I don't like to get too hung up on dates. I use them just as a blueprint for myself during my meditation, to give some sort of a structure to my stream of consciousness and intuitive downloads. But I also intend in my meditation, I meditate for my subscribers first and foremost, but for everybody who will reach, this message will reach. I see this Cancer as around the 21st of the month onwards, the vernal equinox, the sun leaving Pisces, moving into Aries, the new moon in Aries on the 21st, big things happening. But I think take it as it resonates. When it does, it's when it's meant to reach you, and that's always my intention during my meditation. So, the Queen of Coins. Cancer, this reading has focused on relationships somewhat, and my readings don't always, but of course when it's right I will focus on it. But I do have a specific relationship reading on my Patreon. It's linked below. If you want to have a look at that, go right ahead. And also asking you to subscribe at this time because it really helps my channel grow. Let's see what we've got. Another page, the Page of Swords and the Emperor. Okay, well, pages, we've seen the Page of Cups, the Page of Coins, now the Page of Swords speak about communication. You could find yourself communicating more, talking more, producing more of content, like be it videos, be it written, maybe it's drafting emails, writing letters, journaling, maybe reading, processing of information. That's pages. It's information shared, data and responses, talking. So that's just one thing. But you need to be an example, right? You are the person setting example, I think. And that might be daunting to you. I don't know how you feel as a leader, but the Emperor suggests a readiness for this role to be examined for you or stepped into. Using your voice, projecting your voice, having the confidence to clear the throat chakra, speak about what you want, ask for what you need, speak your damn mind, raise your voice if you need to, not in a threatening way. I'm not suggesting that, but I'm just saying that sometimes, you know, we need to be able to speak up and speak loudly, you know, and that's daunting for some people. But Cancer, you are a cardinal sign, cardinal water, that initiating life force. So you are not a sign to be to underestimate in terms of power and ability to strategize and sometimes manipulate situations. All water can manipulate. It's just the nature of the element. So the Emperor card speaks about finding your voice, not being afraid to use it, but also maybe advocating for others who don't feel so powerful when it comes to using their voice or speaking their truth. Advocating, leadership, showing your strength. Parents, mother, father, Queen of Coins and Emperor. I see these duo come up side by side a lot when it's talking about parents. And I got the impression that this is what this reading was touching on at the beginning. And you know what? Those wands never came back. I knew they wouldn't, you know, somewhere within me. Are they even at the bottom of the deck? Not for fucking ages. Not for ages. Okay. No, the wands were not it. You already know that your external world is exciting and vibrant and all of those things. Your inner world, your ancestry, where you came from, the deepest parts of your soul. And is that from your childhood? Is that from your buried unconscious and subconscious mind from other lifetimes? Yes, I believe it is, but you don't have to go that far. That's fine. But parents, foundations, relatives, the people that were around you when you were growing up, the tribe, the clan, this is something that you need to talk about. Maybe you can maybe you can inspire others to talk about certain topics when you open up, or maybe you talk to these people and say, you know what, thank you so much for that, or you know what, you fucked up. But you know, whatever way you want to deal with that, getting assistance, getting support to move your way through examining certain relationships, that can be helpful too. But quite honestly, I think you know what I'm talking about, and I think that you know how to address it. The Emperor card and the Queen of Coins question, Cancer, you are the sign of home, you are the sign of family to a certain extent. The roots of the chart, that's where Cancer sits in the wheel. And it is so important to examine that foundation and unlearn and relearn. That's what I really see coming through for you. May have went off on a tangent there, but hey, there you go. Cancer, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.